Mr. Bates?
Yes?
Are you not feeling too well, Mr. Bates?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Perhaps you should have a lie down.
I'll have a lie down when I have time to do so. The work won't get done on its own.
Sally could do it.
I doubt that very much.
You don't think too much of Sally, then?
I don't think too much of her work.
So why do you employ her?
It wasn't my idea. Her ladyship insisted that we should employ a relief.
Not a great choice, apparently.
It won't last long. She'll soon have enough and then disappear.
Lady Victoria.
Yes, sir?
She seems to me to be rather bitter.
She is a dignified old lady who has to bear a greater burden than I would wish for her.
The death of her husband and her two sons, the murders, the castle's decline, the end of the family line.
You said it, sir.
What can you tell me about Lady Eleanor?
If you want to know something, why don't you ask her yourself?
I'd like to hear your opinion. Why do you think she brought Louis here with her, after her husband's death?
And what do you mean by that, sir? Really now, I ask you, sir. Lady Eleanor is a lady, and she treats her servants accordingly. Louis would have been unable to get a new position. He's simply too old. We can offer him a form of retirement here.
But neither Louis nor Lady Eleanor give the impression of being happy with the arrangement. You could maybe even believe that she owes him something.
I would be aware of that, and I can tell you that your surmising is incorrect.
I've noticed a huge locked door on the ground floor.
I'd keep away from that, sir.
Why?
There was fire in the rooms through there some years ago. The damage was never properly repaired. The walls have been ruined by rainwater, and the beams have been rotting for 20 years or more. I think you'd risk your life going into that wing of the house.
That must have been quite some fire to destroy the wing like that.
It was a dreadful tragedy, such as we've already suffered too many times here. It must now be 24 years ago. Master Samuel and his enchanting wife Catherine were just married and had only recently moved into the castle. We were hoping that he would one day take over the castle from his father and give us a son and heir. But then, they had not even been here for 6 months. There was a fire.
Did anyone know how the fire started?
No. Master Samuel lost his wife in the fire, and then vanished for the next 12 years. He'd been deeply wounded by the events.
Were there any other victims of the fire? Anyone injured, perhaps?
Our cook at the time was the first to discover the fire and tried to pull young Mrs. Gordon from the flames. She became trapped by the flames and would have burnt to death had she not saved herself by leaping out of a window. But she injured her back very badly and had to leave us after that. Why are you interested in things which happened here so many years ago?
Well, the young lady at the lighthouse was also burned.
I find the connection rather stretched.
What kind of a man was he, this Samuel Gordon?
His father sent him off to boarding school early, since he was a very obstinate, wild child. His behavior improved at the school. The teachers described him as an alert, intelligent, and friendly boy, and in the holidays we found him so too. He got to know Miss Catherine after being at school. A wonderful, good-hearted woman. They were married and seemed to have found a perfect happiness.
What do you mean, seemed?
Well, there were some arguments when they lived here.
Was he violent?
To her, I don't really know, but I fear he may have been. Miss Catherine was unhappy, and if there hadn't been some wonderful times every now and again, then she perhaps would have left him. It could have been noticeable to us at that time. The two faces of Samuel Gordon. On the one hand, the loving, caring husband, and on the other, the arrogant and brutish egomaniac. After his wife's death, this nasty side of him seemed to disappear. He never visited us. However, common acquaintances described him as a profoundly sad and broken man.
That is, until he returned and slaughtered some innocent people.
It's terrible. We all wonder ourselves. Perhaps we didn't want to believe that this evil side of his soul had returned.
What can you tell me about Samuel's ghost, which some of the tourists believe they've seen?
Indeed, there are a few tourists who believe they have seen him. But nothing unusual has happened for 12 years now, apart from the castle being virtually besieged by tourists every now and again.
But not anymore.
No. Although, only yesterday there was a married couple who came to see the castle and its alleged ghost. Since they asked me politely in advance, I let them have a look around the garden. But did they find what they wanted? I very much doubt it. There are no ghosts here.
I'll catch you later, Bates.
Goodbye, sir.
I'll lay the mop head directly over the plug hole. That should create a distraction. Mr. Bates?
Yes?
Mr. Bates, the bathroom's underwater.
Sorry?
I was just going past the bathroom, and the water was already washing into the hall.
Can you please get Sally, sir?
Good day, Sally.
Yes?
Sally, quick! The bathroom's underwater.
What?
Bates is really mad. You must have forgotten to turn the water off.
Oh, me? No, no! But I really don't know how that could have happened.
I've had enough of your excuses. You've missed something there.
But I have never left the flannel in the bathtub.
Oh, her ladyship will hear about this. You can consider yourself lucky if we don't subtract the damages from your wages.
They're both occupied. Bates is distracted. Okay, let's go. The drawer is locked. That could be interesting. I've no idea who that is. There's no name on it. It's not one of the usual suspects. Not Shakespeare, not an ancient Greek. You can see straight away that Bates isn't well. He seems to have problems breathing. Perhaps lung cancer. This bedpost looks more than a little strange. There's a slot in the side of the post. What have we got here? Hey, there's a little brass key inside. A small metal box. A few documents. And a photo. That's my mother. It's a picture of Mom, Bates, and a few other servants in the snow in front of the entrance portal. Underneath it says, "The Good Spirits of Black Mirror Castle, Christmas 1969. That doesn't add up. I was born in February 1970, and in this picture, my mother doesn't look at all like she's 7 months pregnant. Does that mean... No. The photo must have been labeled wrong. The portrait of an uptight, miserable gentleman. Well, that's what you look like if you have to sit still for hours for an artist. So what does Bates read then? Heinlein, Dick, Lem, Zalazny. Wow, the man really has taste. A checkbook, a few notifications, and transfer forms. These are exactly the same ones I found in my mom's desk. And the handwriting is an exact match too. So it was Bates who was regularly sending cash to my mom. But on whose behalf? And am I really just looking for my father? This thing here could still be interesting. There's a note here between the papers. It has a header which says combination. That looks like some kind of an aid memoir that Bates has written out. He must have conceded that his memory wasn't getting any better and wanted to play it safe. It says here, on Sir Egmont's portrait, the builder's eldest sister, my Christian name, the nymph's numbers. Hopefully, they're both still occupied.
We're going to discuss this immediately.
But nothing happened!
Only because the police officer discovered it before it was too late. Do you know what might have happened?
They're going downstairs. Excellent. In all the commotion, Bates will have forgotten that he didn't lock his room. XVIII is written on the bottom corner. Ah, a Roman 18. Is there a Sir Egmont in the Gordon family?
Sir Egmont? No. That doesn't ring a bell at all.
Or perhaps is there someone in the area with the name?
No. I'm sorry. Not that I know of.
Strange. Someone who Bates knows, but not Lady Victoria. That doesn't make things simpler, exactly. Can you tell me Bates's first name?
Now that's odd. He's been working for us for so long that I can't remember him ever having a forename. Please ask him yourself, Mr. Falk.
If that was only so simple. As I understand it, this house was built by your two ancestors, Marcus and Mordred. Is that correct?
Well, they at least laid the foundation stone. Most of the foundations, the cellars, and a few walls are from that period.
Not the rest.
Oh, no. You don't seem to be too au fait with architecture, Inspector. In Marcus's time, they weren't able to build castles like this. That came much later.
Who gave the castle its, present-day look?
Many of the masters of Black Mirror improved and extended the castle, laid the gardens, and modernized all of the fixtures and fittings. But the one who really had the greatest influence on the fabric of the castle, as you see it now, was Frederick Arthur Gordon. He gave the castle the appearance it has today.
Frederick Arthur Gordon, then. Thank you. I'll go and take a bit of a look around.
Of course.
Unfortunately, it's been painted over. No way you can work out what was written there before. So, Frederick Arthur Gordon, where are you? Ah, here he is. Frederick had 4 sisters. The oldest answered to the pretty name of Rose.